Check, check. Check, check. Hello. All right. Well, howdy. How's everyone doing? What's good, Daniel? I got my wife in the chat. Let's get it. All right. Well, I'm just gonna start working on this stuff. I feel like this is a project I'm about to finish soon. I think I worked on this one on another stream a few weeks ago. Might have sounded a little bit different, but my focus right now is this guy. Wait, not that guy. Not that guy. Yeah, here we go. This guy. Yeah, it's kind of cool. And then it's got this bottom layer under it. It's very, very hairy. That's better. Oh my God, that was so loud. Just kind of shows how weak this sound I think it is, because the main sound's pretty loud. I just pulled an ant out of my beanie. Oh, I think it bit me too. Ow. Yeah, and if y'all got questions, by all means, please drop them. Let's see. All right, let's see what happens when I actually start to focus. Let's look at this guy here. It's too fuzzy, too much distortion. Well, I'm also not cleaning this sound up very well. Was probably pretty lazy. I'm like watching the YouTube chat on my phone, so if you see me bouncing back and forth, that's what I'm doing. Let's see here. If you don't have Soothe, get Soothe. Best $200 you'll ever spend in the name of sound design. I almost don't even hear a difference between soft and hard. Yep, shameless plug here. Drop some comments. Share this with some producer homies. Your boy's trying to get affiliated. And all we need is 10. All we need is 10. So if you need a reason to call your mom, you have one. Get her in the chat. Let's get it. Yeah, it's still like really fuzzy. It's this area that I'm hearing. Too much of that. I'm gonna try old school way here. So what I'm doing here is called frequency sweeping. Essentially, you just make a really, really I mean, just depends on what you're going for, right? But and then turn this little headphone audition thing on for the EQ. And you'll hear the ones, watch, like when I get to the really resonant ones. Hear how loud that gets, right? I'm not going for those. There it is. It just really gets loud. And then you find it, you just pull it down. So here's without that. And then here's with it. It's just tamed a little bit more. I'll probably pull this guy back a bit. Now this guy sounds behind. Dude, do I have ants on me? Like, what? I find one ant on me and I feel like I have a bunch. Okay. So can I play? Okay, so soothe. Soothe essentially is basically it will just kind of tame any really harsh frequencies. And there we go. Okay. I can see all the chats now, sorry. So yeah, so soothe basically like it finds like resonant peaks in a sound and basically just automatically kind of just tames it. Works a lot like a dynamic compressor, but it's not it's not a compressor because you're not like setting a threshold and stuff like that, you know? So yeah. And this sound with no effects. Sorry, I'm just seeing your questions on the YouTube stuff. Gosh, the sound with no effects. Oh, jeez. Oh, wrong one. So here's that high pitched sound with no effects. Right, and then here's after all the processing. Wild. Yeah, I'm gonna fix this LFO real quick. Here. Honestly, probably just cut him down. Yeah, and then it's just kind of hanging over because of that distortion. How's everyone's weekend? Tell me what you did in the chat. What did you do this weekend? What was the best part of your weekend? Let's see here. Come on. Yeah, full. How it hangs over like that. No. Am I doing Rift? It might be. No? Oh. No, it's that. It's this guy. Whatever. I'll just freeze and flatten it and do it later. Yeah, they're not quite playing together still. Shocker. Yeah, it's that second one that kind of throws it off. I might just take this and just do this here. Like so. Much better. Cancel question says his ex moved out. Best part of his weekend. I mean, that sounds like a dub to me, personally. That sounds like a dub. Ugh, just so like. Yeah, I don't. There we go. It's a little bit better. Gosh, that sounds so bad. Yeah, I think there's just too much gain all around. I'm gonna just do 1 dB down a gain across the board on all the distortion stuff. Big dub. Do you use... Oh, I see what you're saying. You're asking, do you use that has a default effects rack? I feel like I understand your question. I mean, I have like a bunch of things that I've made that I've just kind of kept over the years, or other ones I found on YouTube or other producers, like whatever. You could, but generally I like to just like set just little things, like let's just say like the reverb. When I put the reverb on here, it doesn't come... Well, I haven't done it. I just moved to this computer recently, but I'll just do it right now for you, right? So generally I like a smaller size, longer decay, big stereo. I don't know why. I always land on 37 here. And actually, since I'm doing that, I'm going to put this at 25, right? And then you can just make your setting, right click, save as default preset. So now every time that I bring in my reverb, boom, it's going to be those settings. So, I mean, that's like a really quick way to kind of like get around, you know, all those little microseconds of things that, you know, just little clicks and stuff like that. I mean, those will add up to hours and days of time after you're producing long enough. Yeah, I'm still not a fan of this. I think it's the articulation. I think I should just do the same thing here. Actually. Oops. There. Oh, do I have a preset that saves all those effects and tracks as default? Not exactly. Like when I bring in like a new audio track, for example, like right here, it just comes with an EQ and a utility. And it's the same thing. Like if you have like this 10-mile long processing chain or whatever, you could set it on that channel, right click on the channel, save as default audio track. So pretty much same thing. Like every time you open up a new audio track, it will be to those settings, right? So these are my settings for the audio ones. And then when I put in MIDI, it's very similar. I just Serum preset, EQ, utility, like things that I'm using in every channel, regardless of what it is. Can you explain the vocoder? I was watching some new Skrillex tutorials. I guess he uses that a lot. Have one on my micro Korg, but I never used a software version. Well, I mean, the software version is just the same concept. It's using some kind of sound source as like the modulation source for a sound. So essentially like any kind of change or movement that's going to happen from this source sound. So like in your case, it would be your voice on the synthesizer. You obviously you won't be able to hear anything until you actually play the keys. You can scream into the mic all you want, right? But you actually have to play the keys and sing into the mic to actually make it happen. Similar kind of concept. It's a little bit different, but essentially what it's doing is it's listening to an EQ shape of a certain song or of a certain sound, right? So I'll just find a vocal here. Just do something. Break it down. When I'm saying something. It's all shots. This is gonna be bad. Just no.
Drop it again. Drop it again. Everybody wants to party.
Sure.
Everybody wants to.
Okay, so I'll leave it on warp so it's kind of clean. So essentially, you're going to want to put the vocoder on the sound that you want vocoded, right? So I want to make this sound
everybody wants
to be some like crazy chords or something, right? So I would put the vocoder on this channel, right? And then, where is it? Here we go. You'll click external on the carrier, which means like, okay, what are we using to modulate this sound, right? Some like, are we just using white noise? Right? To where like every frequency is reacting to that input. Right? And I say that because all white noise is all of the frequencies we can hear played at the same time. So, you know, that's kind of like why it sounds all just, you know, because you're literally hearing everything you're able to hear all at once. So essentially you'll set up a MIDI track, and I've already got the Serum set up. I'll just write a couple little chords here so I can hear it at least. Okay, well, I will stretch this out at least so it has some kind of rhythm to it or something. There we go. So you can kind of hear it has like a little rhythm to it now. And close. So this gets here a little too soon. This gets here. And then here we go. Yep. And then so here's the notes. Right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to tell the vocoder like, hey, we have some external output coming from somewhere, right? And so we'll call this Serum 1. This is why you label your tracks here. So you'll come to audio from Serum 1. Boop. Right? And now... Right? And so you can, and anything you do in Serum... Here, I'll do like a low, like, bass one or something. I like E flat. That's... Everybody wants to party. Right, and so when you take, let's just say like a bass sound or something, right? Oh, it's so cool. I love doing this. Right, so it's moving through this wavetable. This is now our modulator. Whatever you do in Serum is going to be the modulator for that vocal, right? So if we detune this, right, we're getting that 16 voice detune. No reason that I picked those chords, just easy chords to write because I only had to move one note. But yeah, so anything you're doing here, right? You can really get creative with this stuff once you start adding all these different, you know, effects and whatnot. Oop. There we go. Right, and so if you're taking anything that you're doing, right, and just putting like bandpass? No. Notch. Here we go. Here, we'll do it out of this one. It's a little bit easier since we can just make it. Right, and the wider that cue is, right, you're going to hear more of that sweep. I generally do this stuff before the distortion, so it takes that distortion sweep or that EQ sweep and beefs it up. Right, you can't hear it nearly as much, right? But if we had, let's say, two of them doing the same thing, we'll just put LFOs on it. Do this. Right, theoretically, should be able to hear this pretty well. Yeah, and just slower. Right, and so I always have a lot of fun vocoding stuff, and like with Skrillex and whatnot, like all of his music is vocal based, like everything he's doing, and taking notes from that, but not necessarily something I like align with, I guess. I don't know. He does things so unique. There's a reason his branding literally is an alien. The dude produces like he has a gun, like he has a gun to his head or something, man. Like, which doesn't surprise me. He makes music like he's producing like he's got a gun to his head. You know, it's like so good, insanely refined. Literally the reason I even started producing, you know, so never ever will I knock Skrillex. It's just, I don't produce like him. I don't, you know, it's not my sound. That's his sound, you know? And that's kind of like, everyone has their own way of doing things, you know? And I think the easy way to like learn this stuff is just like, well, what does Skrillex do? What does Skrillex do? Yeah. And, which again, like I don't knock anybody for doing that. Like it's good to pay attention. Fix y'all. It's good to pay attention to what other producers are doing, but like copying only is like there's only so much you can learn from just copying people, but there is a lot you can learn from copying people. So don't discount it. Don't, you know, copying for the sake of understanding is kind of like what you want to be doing. You don't want to be copying because it's like, oh, that was cool, maybe I could do that. You know, Just find your own way. You know, if you put the time in, you spend enough time in this program, you will figure it out 1,000%. And the only reason you won't is if you open the project, stare at it, and do nothing, and you're not hungry. You know, you don't just wake up and your projects are this big. You know, that this is months and years of different things that I've learned from different places stacked up. You know, and that's why I just want to stream it. Like, this shouldn't be gate-kept knowledge. You know, anybody who wants to learn this stuff can tune into this stream once a week and ask questions. You know, so don't. I think we're past the age of, like, you know, not enough people know about it yet, so I can do. I don't know. There was a weird culture, I feel like, for a while where everybody was just doing the same shit all the time. Still, and honestly, if I'm being honest, people were just trying to do what Skrillex did on his last album. Still, you know. So that's my take on the whole thing. Let's check the chat here. Sweet. Where's my sub? Why is it so low? Yeah, Ableton does this thing where if you don't reset the pitch bend, it just stays there, right? So I'll just go through and make a little notch, and then it'll come back. But before it was, well, it's back now. I can't undo it without resetting the pitch bend and whatnot. Let's see. Yeah, so this sound, this is what I was working on today. Yeah, and I'll fix that tail later. I'm more or less just worried about kind of the frequency profile of the sound, if you will. There's just a lot of distortion, and the sound was already really, really fuzzy to kind of begin with, so it makes it... a little bit better. I still might throw Soothe in after these guys on the whole group here. Wasn't trying to copy anybody. I've made my own genre. I was just watching a bunch of technique. No, yeah, I didn't think you were copying anyone. I was just like, it just kind of came to mind that that's something a lot of people do. It's just like what other people have already done. And that's not, again, doing that is not a bad thing. It's just doing that and releasing it. That's bad and illegal. Don't do that. But yeah, no, I wasn't saying anything about like what you were making. I just meant like, there is a culture of copying, and I don't think I feel like it dilutes the people who are like really looking for that upper, you know, high tier knowledge, right? They got to sift through 6 years of YouTube to figure out where you can buy classes, you know, and that's mainly out of the pursuit of copying rather than, you know, and there's no proper way to learn things. I just mean, I don't always feel like copying is, once you get to a certain skill level, there's no point in doing it, unless you're very curious about how somebody did something. And I could wake up tomorrow and feel differently, so nobody hold me to this. People can change your opinions, believe it or not. So yeah, here we can kind of listen to Soothe a little bit here. It kind of thins out because I have it doing the bottom. Yeah, real sharp. Whoa. Okay. I might just take a long note of this and just stretch it out in case I need it later. But I gotta freeze and flatten this because I just can't listen to that tail anymore. Appreciate you guys watching. Even if it's like DJ or life questions, or if y'all got girl problems or boy problems, like I just got married, like you can come to me. I can be that guy. Okay? I am that guy. Flatten. Okay. So I'll just, oops, leave that muted for now. Yeah, this. Yeah, and so it still kind of just cuts off a little abruptly. So I like to just go through and just kind of put these little micro fades in. And it kind of fades out, so I'll just curve it slightly. Ah, there we go. And what these are here, see how it says like 20 bands, you can pick all these different numbers. It's essentially cutting 20 hertz all the way to 22,000 hertz into this many slices, right? So this bar, we can do the math here real quick. If we took, let's see, 20 to 22,000, right? That's 21,980 divided by 20. So like 1,100 hertz for each band. It's 1099, but 1,100 hertz for each band, right? So this would be 20 through, I can't do math, 1119, right? 1119 through blah, 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 all the way up to 22K. So yeah, you'll have much more fine control doing the higher numbers, right? But I feel like you get more drastic and like dramatic effects with kind of like 20 and below, because when you have like 4, right, or like 8, right, each one is controlling like a huge range of the frequency band, right? And so you can get some really interesting effects. And by the way, this is only vocoding the mid band. I don't know if, right? So I have a low, mid, high, right? And I only have the vocoder on the mid. And that's what's giving it this weird. Here's without it. That's everything that's not being vocoded, which I kind of like. Actually, I like that more. I lied. Right, and there's nothing, you can't clean up EQ enough, I feel like. Yeah, you see these spikes? It's like real like jabby looking, right? Soothe helps with too much of that. So if you had all of these really sharp, precise, spikes in volume as you go up the frequency, go up in frequency, right? The Soothe will just automatically be like, okay, because Soothe is made to just, for the most part, what it was made to do, which is never what I use things for, what they're made for. But Soothe was made to tame that high-end harshness, like the real, like, that the human ear can pick up more. It's more sensitive between 1 and 3K, just because of the shape of our ear canal, and like the shape of it and the size of it, right? Like frequencies 1 to 3K, we are much more sensitive to those, right? You can look up the Munson-Fletcher curve, right? Basically, there's an EQ shape to everyone's ear, right? Which is why some people might hear something differently than others. But, and I think that goes back to like caveman, like that's where leaves rustling, sticks breaking, maybe an animal or something, like all of those frequencies lie right, or all of those things lie right in that frequency range. But that's just the science. I learned it and I use it and it helps. But it's not like a new thing, right? We've known this for several decades. But knowing that your ear is more sensitive to 1 to 3K in that range, like I automatically just go and just try to treat that area, because if something's too harsh, that's the first place I look. And the next place I look would be 8 to 10K. If something you listen to it and you're like, ugh, fuck this, you know? I'm having fun. I'm kind of hot. I'm probably going to want to edit this at some point. So I will duplicate it. And then freeze them both. Appreciate the question, Cancel. Wait, that's Rama. Did I see that right? It wasn't showing up in the multi-stream chat. Is that Rama? If you're still watching, Rama, I miss you. I miss you. Thank you for coming to my show last week. That really did mean a lot. Anyone who comes to my shows. I played in San Antonio the other night. There's actually a lot of people there. I was honestly like very humbled that people were vibing with my set. Because it's just a lot of stuff I haven't played for people before. So, you know, there's always a chance nobody will like it. Doesn't make me want to stop, though. Okay, so looking at this right here, right off the bat, see how we have like all of these like these tall, these are called transients, right? If something goes like that and then like spikes up like this really quick. I see your question. Hold on real quick. So all of these transients here, right? These spikes in volume, right? Another transient example could be like a drum or a pluck, something that just like hits and dies really quickly, super fast attack, super quick decay, right? Like a transient would be something like that if we were to look at it in the recording. Let's see. When you EQ things, do you cut out things that are beyond human range of hearing? No. These EQs are set up only for the human ear, right? So you'll see, well, here, I'll do it on a spectrum analyzer. And you can double click on it and make it big like this. Right, but you can see all the way to the left. I believe this one actually goes to 10 or something, right? But we can't hear 10. We can, like, if it played loud enough for us to hear it, it would quite literally shake our bodies, like physically move our bodies. It's not like an audible frequency. And it goes all the way up here to, right, 22K. Yeah, I've heard like dogs can go, I think, up to like 28 to 30. And I think cats can go up to like 40K, which is wild because I want to hear what depth side sounds like when you can hear up to 40,000 hertz. That's almost twice the human hearing range that we have, you know, as far as just like range, right? And so I've started to become a lot less mad at my pets understanding this. Let me see here. I can do both. Can't see both. So essentially, I'm going to treat these transients with compression. And I like the glue. I'm obsessed with the glue compressor in Ableton. There's tons and tons and tons and tons of third-party compressors out there, but Ableton partnered with the people who make like the best recording board, the SSL. They partnered with them to code their native glue compressor, right? So they pretty much have intellectual property from the people who like made the game, you know? So I really, people sleep on the glue compressor way too much. And it's so easy to just like, oh, okay. Instead of going through the compressor where it's like all these different menus and all this stuff, like it is just so easy. You got two big knobs, you know, adjustment with your, you know, articulation and reaction and whatnot, just like a real life compressor. You know, they're not super fancy until you get to the really high end stuff, you know. So we're going to focus in on this guy. The you can kind of hear it. And all soft clipping is basically if you're going above 0 here, anything that goes above 0 like that essentially gets saturated. So it's easy, really easy to get distortion doing that because saturation is just a really, really, really light form of distortion. The lightest form of distortion, as Trace would say. And this, you just be careful because saturating and soft clipping everything you do, it just like it squishes it. You don't want to destroy the dynamics to where everything looks like this. That's not what you want. How are you going to tell where the rhythm is and any of that, right? But we do want to make the distance from here to here smaller. I hope that makes sense. I'm not always the best at explaining that. Right, so all I'm saying here is like anything that goes above negative 14.6. Here, wait. Where is it? Yeah, right here. So anything going above negative 14.6, which is like way down here, right, is getting pushed down almost immediately. Right, and what this here is measuring is your gain reduction. How much is it pushing it down? Lower ratio will mean greater gain reduction. Higher ratio, not quite as sensitive. I kind of liked it squished. Yeah, and it's still just very dirty sounding, not in a good way. Sometimes I'm torn about cutting out sounds beyond human range of hearing because I feel like those frequencies can still be felt. Yes, on the low end. On the high end, not so much. But yeah, yes, on the low end. That's actually really good. Pretty much anything that's not my sub or my kick, I'm cutting the lows out of because it doesn't help the track. This sound right here, for example, doesn't really do it too much. Let's look at this one again. This stuff here I'll cut off. Right? That's all the stuff that makes your sub sound like shit every time, right? And even if it's a bass sound and it's the low end, right? This sound is kind of weak until I add the sub in. Right? And the second I put that sub in, it just becomes this different thing, right? Because I'm pretty much exclusively leaving that 20 to 100 range for my sub, like at all times. That's kind of like a dance music staple practice. Yeah, it sounds good. Still not quite like beefy enough for me just yet. So I think good way, we'll just throw a little saturation in there. We can just do this here. So always way too much gain with this little preset. And I generally like the softer distortion. Medium is cool. It's just, it adds a little too much body. Hard curve is really going to start to get that bite. But cancel Rama, I would say that, it really just depends. Like the key of the song could change what frequency you're cutting at. really just like definitely 20. Definitely 20. There's no point, you know. And it will get in the way. Those lower, like between 0 and 20 hertz, like that, those can fuck up your mix big time. It's the same thing with the highs, but because the low frequencies are generally fundamental frequencies, that means they oscillate and they kind of like activate all these what are called harmonics or overtones, right? And the really, really high frequencies, if that's the lowest note of the frequency response of that sound, like there's less to mess up because it's already so high pitched, you know? So 50 hertz, like I would say just pretty much any bass sound, cut it at 100 to 125. If it's a lower key like C, C sharp, D, like I might cut at a lower point in the EQ. And if vice versa, if it's a higher key, I'll find myself shaving off more of the low end because the song doesn't even go that low anyways, you know? So that's actually a really good question. Because I feel like there's like a psychoacoustic part of that where it's like, you know, something's not right, but something that's affecting or that's creating the effect of what you're hearing is like something that's inaudible. 1,000% that is something that can happen by not doing this, by not doing it. So I'm gonna go back to not medium, soft. And I will run this, and if you ever hear anyone say parallel in audio, that just means 50% dry wet, right? Half of the unprocessed or previous signal, half of the new signal combined as one output. That's it, right? So I'm running this saturator in parallel. This, where did that compressor go? Excuse me. 100% dry wet. If I said parallel compression, that's all it means. 50% dry wet. And, you know, and it, with a dry wet, that's what it means, right? Running the actual something of being parallel just means you have separate control over both signals. That's all that means. Let's see. Yeah, it's still just too much. So now let's look at it in an EQ just before soothe. See, this stuff here, that's what I was talking about. That's the stuff that will mess your whole mix up. And we can't even hear that low. Like down here anyways. Cool. I think we're kind of getting somewhere with this sound finally. Let's make it a little spacey, add some space to it. It's kind of a trick I've been doing a lot lately, but it doesn't always work. Essentially, I'm just mixing in a really, really big, short reverb. So here's 100%. Right, that's the whole sound at 100% reverb. So the reason I'm doing this is so I can hear the reverb that I'm mixing in. Now we can push the volume a bit. still just not beefy enough for me. I wonder if the warp is messing this up. It sounds like off. That's so weird. It sounds like off tempo now. It's that, I don't know why I did that weird ass articulation, man. See. I'm gonna leave that. There we go. Yep. Does this go? Oh God. Boom. It sounds off, and it's really bothering me. I'm not gonna let it. What's up, Win? More beef. No vegan wubs. Dude, it's 2023. Okay? All wubs are vegan. Everyone knows this. Copy that. And I'm actually just gonna delete that whole thing. And do it again. Boom. Do you have any of that side chained? Yes. I will elaborate shortly. Yeah, I don't know what is going on with all that. That's okay though. I'm not tripping. Yeah, so how I do my sidechain, I don't necessarily do it the same way every single project, but it's the same approach. Right? And because this is very like drum driven, right? Like there's already too much low end. Yeah, where is it? Here. This needs to go this way. Actually, you know what? I'll just copy that. But essentially, because it's so drum heavy, like that's what needs to stick out the most, in my opinion. So, I think it's this boom stuff. Yeah. But then it won't. Well, I'll just do this. I literally don't even care. Where did the... I guess this should be last, technically. There we go. There's just some low fuzz on that snare there. So with the sidechain, essentially, again, because it's so drum heavy, I have everything ducking to that. Right, and I know it says just the kick here, but I kind of did it like super ghetto and basically just put a muted kick drum. Honestly, I really shouldn't be doing this. I'll just redo it right now, honestly, because like this is one of those things that's like the project will never be what it's supposed to until I do it right. So I'll kind of just walk through like the ghost kick sidechain thing, because I personally think is the best way, a best result. But again, there's no like one right way to do stuff with audio engineering. There's really not. But that being said, it's always kick one. This is from the Lex Luger pack, kick one of the Lex Luger pack. And I'll do the drop for now. Copy. Right, and so anytime I want anything to side, all of my side chains going to be coming from this boy right here. Right, and so essentially, oops. Right, it's kind of not the best sounding. And it doesn't matter because we're not going to actually hear it. But I still want it to be a controlled signal. Turn this metronome off. We'll even put it at 0. So essentially, anytime I want something to sidechain, I'm going to put this down, right? And that's pretty much any time my kick or my snare hits. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want it to duck the same way every single time. I don't want it to have to react to what the actual, output signal of the snare or kick is doing, which is what it's doing now. And again, we're going to have a very similar result, but I'm going to have a lot more control over these things doing this. And yeah, some people like to do LFO tool. I did years of doing my sidechain in LFO tool, and I felt like I just hit a limit with it. I know professionals who still do it. Like, they don't feel like you have to change what you're doing just because you see somebody else do something different. Like, if you feel good about your process, don't change it just because, some outside force. Like, you want to make the changes to your process that make your music better, not because this cool guy does it. Yes, I'm talking about me. Just kidding. So y'all can kind of see what's going on here. Chat's being a little weird. So if I lag on the questions, I'm sorry. But feel free, drop the questions. Appreciate the comments. Okay. Boop. Boop. Right, a little tedious, and I'm not going to do the entire project. I'm just going to do this first drop here. Probably won't even get to the second drop today because I don't have it done. And I don't want to start it on stream unless somebody wants me to do that. Then I'll do it next week. But for real, like, if y'all want me to do specific stuff, like, let me know. I can prepare beforehand and just make sure you tune in because it's for you. Oh my God, it's taking forever. I'm sorry. We'll just do this for now. Okay. So every time my kick and or snare is happening, it's making, that's where I put the sample, right? So we'll start off, let's just say with the subs. So I'll just do it all from scratch. Minimize that, turn them off. Compressor. Here we go. So input from Say it with me. Ghost. So essentially what we're doing and what we want to do is clearly we want the same sample for each time, right? But the kick by itself is not going to activate, right? And you can tell that because my threshold is set at 0 and the kick doesn't even reach 0, right? So to turn the sidechain on, you have to get it to pass that line. I like to do it with the input gain, right? So we're making the compressor think the kick is louder than it actually is. But you could get the same result by just taking this sample and cranking the shit out of it. It's the same thing. That's essentially all we're doing. But I don't want to do that. So I'm just gonna do it here. Now you can hear that sidechain. And I generally like to go for like a sharper kind of shape, I guess. Something more like this. I'll get it to where I like it, just the shape anyways, and then I'll pull the threshold. And I'll get it pretty like semi-aggressive, and then I'll just duplicate it. And then you hear that pop. You can just kind of nudge your attack time. And this is across the board for all compressors. Nudge up that attack time. That'll kind of help with that pop. But I think because we have 2. I think I might just leave it like this for now. I literally just route all the things I want sidechained into one channel, put fruity bounce. Yeah, that's a way to do it too, right? Like you can take the output of whatever you want and put it to a send, right? And then the problem with that though is if that channel is distorting, you have to go and search through all of this stuff to find out what it is. Or, you know, I just find that shoving my entire mix into 2 different channels or 3 different channels when it's not mix and master time, I feel like for how my process works, it's just asking for trouble. But I do know a lot of people who do that sidechain send method, right? I know how to do it. I understand it. It doesn't like help me with my workflow. When I want to sidechain something, I want to go, oh, bop, okay, that's ducking to whatever I set it to. Not like this imaginative like signal flow, you know, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just as a producer, it doesn't make me produce better. That's the only reason you should do something or change something that you're doing. It's just like, oh shit, I would be better if I did it like that. Those are the things you want to do. Not necessarily like, oh, I can do the same thing this way. Like, why would you waste your time? You just said you could do the same thing. So, you know what I mean? Like, pick your battles. Right? And so with the sub, I'll do the same thing. Turn these off here. I want the sub ducking more than my basses. But the sub and the bass generally duck the most. Oops. What is that? Oh. Now I'll turn the kick and the snare back on. I think I want the basses to duck more. I'm just going to duplicate it. Now I'm getting... Is my kick off here or something? This is going to drive me insane. So just mute all of the old ones here for now. Am I crazy or does that sound different? That sounded different to me. So it might be a little too much now. Or you know what? We could probably just cut more of the lows out here. Appreciate you, Win. Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Dude, I don't know what is up with this. Like I really don't want to go through and warp it, but it's bothering me that much to where I'm considering it. Like that should be hitting right on the quarter note. And I didn't tell it to do that, guys. I'm just gonna do it. Fuck it. Maybe it will. Yeah, it pretty much snapped right into place. Yeah, but now it sounds like shit. Okay, I gotta figure this out. Right there, you can hear it like poke up before the sidechain hits. Right, I think you can actually see it on the right here. Yeah, this right here is supposed to be, or here, we'll just look at this one, right? Like that is supposed to be there. This. This is what it's supposed to look like, and I'm not sure why it doesn't. This is why I stopped using LFO tool. Here, yeah, it like jumps before it. And why you do that? Why you do this? So if it's jumping too soon, I could probably push the phase backwards a bit. So is it just, it's consistently behind. Now this is ahead. Oh my God. I'm wondering if the retrigger is necessary. Kind of liked it. What's the, maybe, I think it's 270. Wait. What? Am I missing something here? Y'all heard that. It just stopped playing. Okay. Well, I guess I can go through. Yep. So yeah, like all of these like muted kicks that I threw in there, I'm just gonna go and take these out. Right, I just gotta make sure to go through and do this to everything. So now I need, generally you want the cymbals and high frequency stuff ducking slightly less. What is this? Yeah, if you want a process that fits your workflow, don't change. I can't work remotely quick on Ableton. I'll just workflow. Yeah, no, exactly. And it's not like I feel like when you first start producing, it's like people take this like, oh, I'm fucking Ableton gang, bruh. And after a while, you're just like, they all do the same thing. Ford, Chevy, Ferrari, they get you from point A to point B. Obviously, there's a difference there, right? Like it's the same way with audio programs. If you understand the workflow, like Gwen's talking about, you should be able to figure out how to do anything in anything, theoretically. Doesn't mean it's always possible. Oh my gosh, that ride cymbal resonates for so long. Is it this guy? Oh, that's why. Gate, turn the snap off. Oh. There. Yep. And all the gate is doing is essentially just saying however long the MIDI note is how long we will play the sample. Why was I playing that in this part? Oh yeah, I'm doing like the auto panned cymbal thing. Okay, so now let's listen to all the drums here. Oh, I knew it sounded funny. See? It gets messed up. It gets messed up. Okay. You know what? That's probably why it sounds a little weak. I just thought about this. I doubt it's even still there. Yeah, wrong thing. Well, I'm just gonna delete that one then. And then am I still? Yeah. Yeah, I think it was just EQ and a compressor after this. So I'm just gonna do that. Where is it? There. Can't think. Okay, getting there. Getting there. It's starting to sound a little bit like a something. I wonder what Beats Warp would do to this. Honestly, even just another LFO tool, I think, would make this articulation a little bit more digestible. And I'm not talking like, I'm literally just talking about like hugging the shape enough to just kind of clean it up. And it's just doing quarter notes, so it's not like I need to change much. What's good, David? Dude, I am wearing your hoodie. Dude, hell yeah. Shout out WHOiSEE. WHOiSEE presents. Man, they showed me love when I went out there to LA. Went and got to see, oh my gosh. What show did I go to again, David? I can't remember. Only because I've been to so many. Not for any reason. Oh, dude. Who did I see? I can't think. It'll come to me. Yeah, shout out David. That's not music. He's also got a clothing line, and they got some dope stuff.
Very dope.
I have like a little voice changer over here on my mixer.
So I might just get a little freaky.
Yes, it was a house artist. And he's like a OG. Like a OG. This is going to kill me, man. Yeah, still just really harsh up in this area. Oops. There we go. Getting better. I gotta fix all the sidechain stuff here. I'll just pull the one from the bass, I guess. Right, and this is quite literally how I like to do my sidechain, is just make it once and then adjust it a little bit per texture, per whatever. So that's all the stuff going in the background of the drums. Nothing on the vocals. Didn't seem like there's anything on. There we go. Okay. There's something going the whole time. I don't know what it is though. Oh, it's just a frozen thing. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go replace a couple more kicks. Yeah, man. Hope you're doing well, David. I appreciate the support, man. Thank you all, honestly. Like, literally just in here playing around on Ableton. You guys want to watch, and that means a lot. And can you tell this is the build up? If you can't, you should be able to now. Oop. Hi, babe. My wife's in the chat. Y'all say hi. Bop. Boop. Whoop. Guess I could just do this each time. This is very tedious, but I promise it doesn't sound good to me any other way. Hi, babe. So yeah, ducking way too much here. Woo! I don't know what that is. Or why. Does it ever come back on? Why is it only on for that? Oh, that's why. I see. And this is where lazy, just like if it's a little bit hard to do something, just do it. That way you can avoid doing stuff like this. So I wanted to duck to my snares also, so I'm just going to go to count 3 of each bar and set my ghost. What does it sound like to the other kick? Oh, so I don't really have it. I might just leave this and then just automate this one on for the build-up maybe. And then automate these dudes off on the build-up. What was that on? That was on the subs. I thought I was on the melodic channel. That's okay. Okay, so turn this guy back on. Right-click Show Automation. Turn it off, and then turn the big boy on here. Cool. That sounds cool. I like it. Yeah, it sounds good. Oh, yo, we got 6 viewers right now. We need 4 more. Make some accounts. Do what you got to do. Call your mama. You need to call her anyways, so she can watch this stream. Where'd it go? But yeah, for real, thank y'all for watching. I do this every week, so Mondays are my day off. It's where I just kind of fuck around all day. So again, like, comments, shoot me a text, Instagram, Twitter, like whatever. I want to like see what people want to learn, you know, because a lot of times it's not as difficult as you might think, but it might be. You never know. So let's see. Let's listen from the beginning, and then save. Always save. More melodic stuff, I think. Might change that kick sample for the beginning. Whoa, listen to the melodic. It like went all the way away. Oh my gosh, do you hear that? That's insane. Why is it doing it that much? I don't remember taking it down that far. Okay, I think I should switch it back here. And then switch this guy, obviously. Oh, it did do it there. Cool. Cool. Yes. So loud. I need another sound there. Okay, not supposed to be doing that. Oh my gosh. I think I might just go back to the big blasty sound for that one. That was funny. Go, 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 go. And yeah, I laugh out loud at that even when I'm alone. Not just because I'm with you guys. It's actually funny. Actually funny to me. Okay, so I'm using FM8 to make this sound. And the thing about FM8 is that it is like this, like way richer and smarter, but uglier older brother, like a 2. You know, I feel like once you can, like FMA's personality is 10 out of 10. But it looks like shit. I mean, I still get confused on what I'm looking at sometimes. I'm getting better though. Yeah, I think it's this guy that's doing like the. I want to make sure it's not. Yeah, I think it is this guy. It's kind of cool. Maybe it's this guy. I'm really not sure what's making that like fuzzy farty noise. I mean, it could be this. I don't think it's this one though. Let's see. Really, I'm not sure. Maybe it's this guy. Yeah, it's that one right there. This last one before. I might just leave this go or let it go. Yeah, it like sticks out way too much. Let's see. No, it just does that. Maybe it's the rift. Yeah. What is all this going to? Is it going to anything? Maybe it's just this. Oh. Is that Josh? Ouija board? Is that Josh? Hey, man. Dude, I had 3 first time chats today. They should just put me on the homepage. Perhaps. I can't answer the phone right now. I'm sorry. Honestly, man, what's Ouija board about to say? Who can guess what he's gonna say before he types it? Is it? What's he saying? Or maybe am I misreading this and he's saying honestly to something I just said? Hmm? Oh, yeah. Oh, I think I found our culprit. It's the harmonic. Maybe if we did it opposite. Kind of like it doing the. Whoa. Yay. Yes. We figured it out. Thanks, squad. Thanks, team. We need to figure out a name for this chat. Something real degenerate. Ouija board would know. He's got it. He's got the plug on the DGen. Where's it going? Why is it not? Okay. See, but now it's all thin. Ugh. Whoa. Happy accident, I think. That sounds kind of hard. See, now this it sounds too. Sounds weak. Or like, you know, I bet I know what it is. I know what it is. Oh, 8 viewers, dude. We're so close. We're so close, guys. Help me get there. We're gonna break milestones tonight, boys. I don't really like that. We're just gonna take it out. Gotta work in the morning. Miss you, dog. Oh, you're in Austin now, right? Yes. We gotta hang out. Miss you, Josh. We will figure something out. Shoot me a text. I miss you too, dog. Miss you. Almost. Okay, word. But yeah, we'll figure something out. Shoot me a text. Oh no, I'll hit you up where you're going to bed. So I guess tomorrow. Yeah, it just feels messy. Oh, you know what? I think I know why. Because I produce with sausage fattener on. Oh wait, you know what? Come back. All right, 8 viewers. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, let's bring this guy back on. We'll just bring the gain down a bit. No fatness. That way we still are clipped at 0 and I don't have to worry too much about it. I'll just turn it up here. Okay, let's listen to it now. Oh, I know what I want there. I know what I want there. I figured it out. I figured it out. We're going to do the classic reverse reverb. So we're going to take this big boy. Yes, I am a big boy. And take a reverb, throw a reverb on it. 100% dry wet, small size, maybe like 10 to 15, big ass decay. Ooh. Sounds cool. I was like doing that. Maybe a little more chorus and spin just to kind of give a little variety. And then I'll just do it afterwards. So take that, freeze and flatten it. Oh, we got up to 8. That's okay. Flatten. Delete the initial warp. So I always forget you can do this. I think you can just highlight it, hit R, and it reverses. Magic. There we go. So now pretty much wanted to cut off right. Oh. We'll do something like this. A little fade before is never bad. Or a little bit of a fade. Sometimes the hard audio cuts don't work like you imagine they would. That's a noise. If you didn't know. That's cool. Also another little trick I like to do. And this is purely like something I've heard somebody else do, and it was easy to kind of figure out how to do it. But this has become a pretty common noise or effect or whatever you want to call it. Right, and then I'm going to take it unsynced. That's kind of cool. I like this slowing down like that. I think I stopped it. Let's just see what happens. Almost. Could work. Okay, now what I'm going to do is also automate the depth or the dry wet, essentially. Let's try it the other way, just to make me feel better so I can sleep tonight. Yeah, I knew I liked it better. Yeah, I think just the rate is just kind of weird. Maybe slow it down a bit. Ooh, we're getting close. Getting close, boys. What does it sound like off again? Damn, I like it without it too. Shit. Yeah, I think I like that actually. Maybe I'll just do a slight filter sweep with that. Sorry for that reverb freeze. Okay, now we're talking. That sounds pretty good. Aha. I knew I lost some energy somewhere. Hear that there's like a low frequency thing, but I need to figure this out. Hold on. That's where it is. Boom. Duplicate that. And then there's like this background like hoo, hey, ha, hey, hoo, hey, ha, hey. Yeah. Why? There's something else happening there. Yep, knew it. Never mind. Hold on. Let's see here. I think it's just this thing. Everything. There it is. I think I got it. What is that? Why is it doing that? Maybe it's a volume cut on this thing. Yeah. Yep. I knew it. Boom. Yeah, and there's like a low frequency going on here. See all that? You remember Rama was asking earlier, are there things that you don't hear that affect your mix? Yes. Reverb, one of them. Boom. No, hold on. A nut hair too long. Yeah, that's where I need everything to just stop. Be done, be done. Okay. Okay. Hi, Marty. I figured that was you. Oh, that's what it is. I don't go up here. I don't think I do anyways. Yep, that's what sounds weird. Okay, now we have Crisco and we are cooking with it. Is the other one? Nope. The other one goes all the way. Well, I am hot and tired, and my wife's dancing in the corner. It's my signal. Yeah, I know, but I've been doing this for 2 hours, and I'm ready to be done. Shout out chat. Yeah, good one today. I'm going to cut this up into a couple YouTube videos for sure. Appreciate you guys. Like I said, please subscribe. I'm doing this every week. Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, WHOiSEE, one word. It's pretty much the same thing across all the platforms. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. I'm going to let this song kind of play for what it is as I exit. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.